if you would say your name.
Charles Veenstra.
All right. Thank you. So we'll start right off. Records. Did you listen to records when you were younger?
When I was younger, I did, yeah.
You did. What kind of records did you listen to?
Oh, I was never big into music, but popular music. When I was younger, country, western kind of stuff.
Okay, gotcha. Was there any kind of music you weren't allowed to listen to?
No.
No? Okay. Do you remember where you go buy records?
Probably any kind of store.
Do you remember what your parents thought about records and record players?
We didn't have one, or we may have had one in our home, but they were not into music either, so
Okay.
I don't remember them talking about it.
Okay. Where did you go to listen to records?
I did that more later on after I left home.
Gotcha.
Before that, it was mostly radio.
Mm-hmm. What do you remember about radio? Like, what kind of programs did you listen to, if any?
Mostly news programs.
News programs?
There were drama programs on some afternoons. So if I was working at home, then I would listen to some of the drama programs. But
Gotcha.
Don't ask me what they were. I can't remember any of those names.
Do you remember any like technical problems you had with radios, getting signal or anything?
No, not really. We had electricity, and that was all you needed at that point.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember when FM radio became available, and if that changed?
FM, when it began, probably, I don't know, in the 60s or something like that, was largely music. With NPR, of course, with news, but mostly music, as that was the big selling point of FM.
What was it like when TV became available?
We didn't have TV.
You didn't have TV in your house. Nice. Did you?
Not until after I left for college did my parents get a TV.
Do you have a TV today?
I do.
Do you have do you have cable or satellite?
Cable.
Cable. When did you get that, and what made you get that?
Whenever it came into town here.
Mm-hmm.
That's been several years ago.
Yeah. Very cool. What were some of your first movie going experiences?
Probably high school, and certainly college. We went to several movies.
Okay.
The college would have regular movie nights.
Oh, okay.
When I was a student here, and we would go to the theater sometimes, and that was really a pretty big deal. At that time, the church had said that films were one of the three worldly entertainments that we ought to avoid, along with card playing and dancing.
Yeah.
But the college was pretty good at getting good movies here, and so Friday night was pretty common to go to a movie here at Dorothy.
Very interesting. Do you have any favorite movies growing up?
Growing up? No, not growing up. It'd have to be after I was in college or later. Oh, probably Dr. Zhivago and that sort of thing. Some of the classic movies.
Cool. Do you remember any of the excitement surrounding Gone with the Wind when Gone with the Wind was?
Now, when it first came out,
yeah.
I think it first came out way earlier.
Yeah.
What I liked about Gone with the Wind later on was that they colorized it, and I've read the book, and so I think there's a lot of what I like about it is it's a description of the Civil War.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jason Hartnett.
And I'm Harrison Burns, and this is our response to our interview with Professor Veenstra.
Now, the one thing that I thought was interesting was the fact that the church condemned movies in the society that Professor Veenstra lived in when movies started to become a big fad. And it's just amazing to think about how the church had such a big influence on what the society could do, and how the younger generation continually pushes for something and it will end up becoming the general norm, no matter what it is, even if it's good or bad for the people as a whole.
Yeah, and another aspect that was an insightful point that was hinted at throughout the interview, and Professor Veenstra and I discussed after the interview, was that society, even with all the new technology and new forms of media, Professor Veenstra found himself going back to old media, such as books. And that even today, even with all our advances, books are still thriving. And so when we're the older generation being interviewed, probably the older forms of media will still be around, even when the younger generation pushes the new ones.
So overall, that was our interview that we had with Professor Veenstra. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'd like to give a big thanks to Professor Veenstra for allowing him to give up some of his time so that we could ask him a bunch of questions about the media and how it affected him in his life. Thank you for watching.
All right.